guys? It's Z-Line Underground once again. As I talked about my Utica Avenue video last time, now I'm going to talk about my proposals. My next proposal video will possibly be Nostrand Avenue, as it will be mentioned briefly as examples in this video. Before we get started to the main point, my idea for this video is long overdue. Thus, I'm deciding to throw it in as a 1,000 subscriber special. But most likely, I'll do a Rockaway branch proposal due to heavy demand on one of my most recent polls. After a solid review and intro, now comes the main point. The Utica and Nostrand Avenue lines will have more demand, especially due to the fact that the IBX is constructing stations right next to Nostrand and Utica. This might be a bit controversial, but I'd personally prefer the IBX as neither a subway line rather than light rail. Look, I'm just saying this because knowing New York City, the light rails would get dirty and trashed within seconds. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. The most popular bus routes in Brooklyn run on Utica and Nostrand Avenue, with a ridership of 11 million riders combined within a year. Unfortunately, MTA is going to keep using the 44 and 46 as scapegoats to run away from expensive projects like Utica and Nostrand. Their ridership combined is more than some train stations, which is unacceptable. These are the three different branches that most Utica Avenue proposals are. There's a branch off the Nassau line, the second is a branch off the Fulton Street line, and the third is the 4 train being branched away from Eastern Parkway. But here's why I'll be choosing Fulton Street over the Eastern Parkway or Nassau branch. A minor issue why Utica shouldn't be branched from Nassau is due to my concerns for how small Malcolm X Boulevard is on some specific portions. The platforms for the station would have to be squeezed in more than usual. Even some cases, structures that exist on the sidewalk would have to be moved out of the way. But if the Nassau line was built underground, it would become more of a proposal I'd consider. And the main factor to put in is the J train constantly being delayed from the M train merging in at Myrtle Avenue. If we add in double of the problem the M is already creating, MTA would most likely cut capacity on both the J and M trains, all for an extra line. This would screw up Myrtle Avenue as we know it. The J and M train situation is already bad enough. And plus, I find it unnecessary for 4 lines altogether running on Broadway. Now moving on to Eastern Parkway. The next point is Utica Avenue stretching nearly 3 miles wide. That's like walking from Chambers Street to 75th Street? Whatever. But anyway, as I mentioned earlier, Utica Avenue is an extremely dense street. 2 individual lines need to operate on Utica as the same way the 2 and 5 operate on Nostrand, countering congestion effectively, which is why I think the 4 should get X'd out. You can argue about the fact that the 4 train can handle being in its own at Jerome Avenue, but the main difference between Utica Avenue and Jerome Avenue is the fact that Jerome Avenue has more residential areas than Utica does. Now, what does this mean? It means Utica Avenue is basically a Brooklyn version of Lexington Avenue, meaning after 2 minutes, you have to worry about overcrowding, which is why the 4 shouldn't be the one who gets the job done. Another worse problem would be late night service. Predicting MTA's stupid decisions, they'll probably come up with something as ridiculous like branching the 4 to New Lots and Utica at the same time. Predicting the headways as it is in Jerome, the headways would be iffy, especially near the outer portions of Utica, due to the 5 train being unable to support the 4 train. I feel like we should leave the 4 where it already is, because if we extend it, you might have to worry about longer headways like the D train, which equals absolute green hell. The last line I want the 4 train to be like is like the D train. Seriously though, the reason why West End and Concourse get such bad headways because only the D alone serves them, not counting the B train because it's the rush hour only thing like the Z. But that's a story for another video. Now let's move on to Fulton Street. The I&D Fulton Street is a very underappreciated line. and needs fixing due to the terrible headways, which I'll explain. Which is why I'll be extending the E to Brooklyn to run Fulton and Utica Avenue Express. The K train will be brought back to life, running Fulton Street and Utica Avenue local. Let me demonstrate why this is the best option. The A train's capacity is cut due to the B and D trains merging at 145th and delaying the A train by switching onto the express tracks to get the 6th Avenue. Once again, the A has to share tracks with the C from Canal Street all the way to Hoyt-Schermerhorn Street. This explains why the headways get so bad after no train. So basically the A train's capacity becomes depleted. It's not just the A, but the C as well. In fact, the C train performs like, bro, you run every 60 minutes. Like, no. This is why I propose the K train, not just as a Utica line, but as a gap to fill the horrible headways for the C train. As a bonus, the K will have CBTC as well. The least we can do is add 2 extra trains if the headways are going to be that bad. I strongly believe a lengthy line like Fulton Street deserves 4 trains. But first off, we'd require a bit of new infrastructure for this proposal. Starting at World Trade Center. This is similar to how the N and R trains break apart from Canal Street, but then merge back at Atlantic. Phase 2 is similar to the 1929 proposal with the 2nd Avenue subway, but instead, E and K trains connect with the T train at Hanover Square before heading to Brooklyn. An extra station on Columbia Heights would be added for connection to the BQX. E trains will bypass Columbia Heights and Court Street for a faster alternative to cross boroughs. After Court Street, 4 tracks connect to Hoyt-Schermerhorn, branching back with the A and C once again. As I said earlier, more service will be provided. So to reduce delays as much as possible, the abandoned side of the Hoyt Street station will be reopened with the C and K local trains to operate on the abandoned side of Hoyt Street. This would also eliminate the annoying delays you get when the A and C trains have to share a track after Lafayette Avenue. The junction towards Utica would be called the Marcus Garvey Junction, south of Kingston Throop Avenues, which are 4 connecting tracks that go under the existing Fulton Street line. As foreshadowed, the tracks lead to a new platform built under the Utica Avenue station. After making a turn via Utica Avenue, the K would stop at St. Mark's Avenue. Many proposals rather decide to jump all the way from Fulton to Eastern Parkway, but they massively overlook important transfers like the B15, B45, or B63. If MTA wanted to divide this project with different phases, then this would be considered phase 1, most likely. Anyways, moving on to what could be considered as phase 2. As you can see, Empire Boulevard or Winthrop Street doesn't have any much significance. In addition to the usual subway transfers to the 2, 5B, and Q trains, the E and K lines would also be available, enhancing the transfer options for the B35 bus, making it a stronger crosstown line. After Church Avenue, the Utica Avenue branch would need to elevate from underground, reminiscent of the F and G trains, due to geographical concerns in areas deep in Brooklyn, such as Bensonhurst, Flatlands, Flatbush, Gravesend, and others. Now comes a difficult decision, making one station express and keeping the other local, and 2 of these stations have important benefits. Making the E jump to Flatlands Avenue or Farragut Road presents challenges. If the E stops at Kings Highway, you'd miss a vital bus transfer hub at Flatlands Avenue. However, if it stops at Flatlands Avenue, you'd miss a convenient stairway transfer to the IBX, a highly demanded Brooklyn-Queens crosstown proposal. However, since the B46 Select bus service already runs to Flatlands Avenue, in my opinion, having the E-Express train stop there would be quite redundant. The jump from Church Avenue to Kings Highway is far enough, but stretching it all the way to Flatlands is a bit too far. Now, I can understand how a massive crowd would be quite upset due to the fact that the B82 would not be prioritized in my scenario, particularly because it serves as a vital crosstown, hitting dense areas around Gravesend, Bensonhurst, Flatlands, and Canarsie, even taking place as the top 5 most popular buses of last year. But you see, you guys have to think of this as a bigger perspective. The most significant aspect is to prioritize that ensuring that commuters can reach their destinations, such as jobs and events, efficiently in Brooklyn areas, particularly toward downtown Brooklyn. But the new introduction of the IBX offers a new game, a new transformative opportunity, especially for Queens riders. Given the new demographics and the extensive connections made available through the IBX, it stands as a crucial transfer point. You can't sleep on this. Like, I've known some people who had to take the train from Gravesend all the way to Jamaica and Queens just to get to work. Okay, obviously I'm kidding, but still. And many trains have to go to Manhattan. You have to go through Manhattan to get to Queens, unless if you're taking the G train. And I think that is a really big problem with MTA. It's even on the stats that almost 60% of the Brooklyn commute is heading to Queens for workplaces. This new connection could be the Brooklyn commute's only chance to actually get to Queens without having to take a train to Manhattan. Look, I know I'm bringing up the IBX a lot because surprisingly, I want to make a separate video in regards to how I'd recreate and tweak the IBX. But for now on, I'm going to continue on to my original point, the Utica Avenue video. I don't want the rant to get too far because I'm already sure this video is almost 12 minutes long. So I'm going to be going a bit faster from now. You've got Church Avenue, Beverly Road, Avenue D, Kings Highway. What's next? Flatlands Avenue, Avenue N, then Flatbush Avenue. The final phase would be to construct Kings Plaza and Floyd Bennett Field, constructing a large yard to turn trains around. And I would design tail tracks similar to the build on Jamaica 179th Street on the F train. Can't find pictures for an example. Anyway, I know this last part seemed a bit rushed, but this is rather due to the fact that there aren't really any other important points to make in regards to my Utica Avenue extension. If I'm missing out any important points, make sure to comment below on what I've missed. Before I finish the video, I don't want to leave you all on a cliffhanger in regards to my infrequency. You guys are probably like, yo, what's taking so long? Why are you uploading so infrequently now? Well, for one, I've uploaded many videos in the summer. Don't get that twisted, guys. But due to me having to focus on schoolwork after summer, I've had some problems actually finding time to take time in editing these videos, man. Also, another video I was planning on editing while I took my hibernation were the R211 Money Pals review. But due to how late I already am to the hype, I scrapped the idea. But let me know if you guys would be interested in that. Oh yeah, special surprise. Around December, Christmas, I'll be posting a new kind of Money Pals content. I won't be telling you guys what it is, but all I'm saying is it'll be a series. And I think you guys might like it. So stay tuned for some more content. Seriously, I'm going to be locking in. Well, you guys know what to do if you want more videos like this. I'll see you next time.